Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf is set to formally rejoin the All Progressives Congress, APC, on Monday, January 26, 2026, days after resigning from the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. The development was confirmed in a statement issued on Sunday by the governor's spokesperson, Sunusi Bature Dawankin Tofa. According to the statement, Governor Yusuf first joined the APC in 2014 when he won the party's primary election for the Kano Central Senatorial seat, a ticket he later conceded to the party's leader at the time, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Following the aftermath of Governor Abba Yusuf's resignation of his membership from the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, loyalists of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso serving under Governor Yusuf's administration have continued to tender resignation of their political appointments. Moving on, the Minister of Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, has warned that the All Progressives Congress risks undermining its chances in the 2027 general election if it drops a Northern Muslim from President Bola Tinubu's re-election ticket. Musawa made the remarks during a recent podcast chat amid growing speculation that the ruling party may consider altering the Muslim ticket adopted in the 2023 presidential election. According to the minister, removing Shetima or replacing him with a non-Northern Muslim running mate would pose a serious political challenge for the APC, particularly in the core northern states. Moving on, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State says it has become difficult to speak truth to power under the current administration, contrasting the situation with what he described as a more consultative approach during the tenure of late President Muhammadu Buhari. Makinde spoke on Saturday in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, at the 60th birthday celebration of Samson Ajetomobi, president of the Men of Issachar Vision Incorporated and overseer of the Redemption Faith Churches. He also says he misses former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo's leadership. In his words, "Sir, I personally miss you in that position as Vice President." End of quote. Makinde told Osinbajo. Let's hear from him.
Well, we had the same situation in this dispensation. It was the tax bill. And we said, no, bring the tax bill. Bring it back. Let us all have an opportunity to look dispassionately at it. But you cannot speak truth to power in this dispensation. So the tax bill will go ahead. It's an affront for even the governors to be saying what the presidency has done to send the tax bill to the National Assembly. They should bring it back. It won't happen. And we know where we are right now. The tax bill, we don't know what was passed at the National Assembly. We don't also know what was signed. So when I say I miss you so much, sir.
Well, joining us on Political Brief to discuss these stories is Arise Director of News and Politics Editor, Sumner Sambo. Good morning, Sumner. Thanks for joining us today on the morning show.
Morning, Sumner.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you and good morning to our viewers.
Well, Sumner, was Governor Makinde making a partisan statement when he said in Ibadan over the weekend that it's difficult to speak truth to power under this government. And also when he said, he missed former Vice President Professor Osinbajo. You know, he's a politician. Although he said, well, he was not playing politics, but this is a political season. That may be, some kind of intentional comment to embarrass the government of the day. And then, of course, in Kano, is this, as we have tried to argue, parenthetically, conflict between Godfather, Godson not being allowed to flourish, and then deciding to go sideways back to where he came from, After all, he was with APC. And then that makes him the 31st governor that will be joining the APC. Governor Mufwang, when he joins formally tomorrow, he will be number 30. When Governor Yusuf joins, he will be number 31. So who else is left in the opposition? And then, of course, the statement by Anatu Musawa, Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy. I thought, well, it was courageous of her to speak up, even if on all the things she said, I agree with her. And her admission that, well, the opposition will still be very necessary, and it's very necessary to be able to have a credible process. What do you think on all these three major issues under politics today?
All right, let's start with what you said about Governor Makinde's statement. The statement should be viewed from the perspective of what Rotimi Amechi, former governor of Rivers State, had said about the Tinubu presidency. And he said that while they were members of the Governors Forum, the Nigerian Governors Forum, many of them could actually sit down at the either NEC meeting or, whenever they're having their discussions as governors and challenge the incumbent president. And you'll be comfortable doing that, knowing that there will be democratic safeguards for you. The thing is that under the Tinubu presidency, it looks like we've actually not seen those safeguards, because one would actually be surprised why a serving state governor who has constitutional immunity and backing would actually be afraid to actually talk to a sitting president, and the sitting president will actually want to listen to him. Actually, we are having some of those challenges within Tinubu's presidency. Some of the governors, whether by their own doing or because of the posture of President Tinubu, are actually afraid to actually have, a political debate on governance without, fear that Abuja will actually withhold some things from them. And if you listen to some of the governors that are defecting, many of them saying that they are defecting because they want to enjoy what other APC governors are enjoying in the center. So does that mean that they view the Tinubu presidency as an autocratic executive that wouldn't want to give constitutional goods to those who are not in the governing party? And if that is the case, then we really need to take a look at our democracy, because there are safeguards for governors and other elected persons or personalities. Because, the president is elected just like any governor is elected, just like any senator is elected, just like any House of Rep, local government chairman, or councillor is elected. So why can't an elected official stand and tell the president he's right or he's wrong, his policies are working well or they are not? Well, Seyi Makinde may have been political in one aspect of it, like you would have listened to former Governor Ayo Fayose saying that there are some things that Seyi Makinde has been trying to cut from the presidency that he hasn't got very well. And even when he got some of them, he refused to declare them. Like the issues of the 50 billion naira that was said to have been released, only for Makinde to say, no, that amount wasn't fully released, only 30 billion. And the 30 billion was found not to have been fully disbursed. And people in Ibadan, another parts of Oyo State, are asking why that money has not been, disbursed way up till now. So yeah, there's some element of politics in that statement, but some elements of reality is also there, because we are seeing opposition governors being timid, unlike other state governors who were in the opposition under Jonathan or even maybe under Buhari. But because I think there's also a sort of esprit de corps, having a president who was a former governor. This is the first time under this democracy that we're having Tinubu, for example, who is a former governor in this Fourth Republic, assuming the presidency. So because Tinubu understands all the in and out of governors within the template of the Fourth Republic, many of them are very difficult to actually talk to him. They find it difficult to talk to him. And then some of them, while they were in the opposition, they were cutting people like Tinubu, and Tinubu supported their election or re-election bid. So it's difficult for them to face him frontally and talk to him on national issues, unlike other former presidents. Like, for example, Obasanjo was never a governor under this republic. Someone like Yar'Adua. Yes, of course, we also had Yar'Adua, sorry, I forgot that, who was a president, but his time was short-lived. And then, of course, you had Jonathan. But there's a special relationship that these people have with President Tinubu that, actually makes them to look as if it's a father-to-son relationship rather than having a relationship that is horizontal and not vertical as our constitution would want it to be. And then you talk about the issues of Kano. The issues of Kano are that of exactly this kind of scenario that we're seeing. And President Tinubu is actually harvesting from the challenges that we actually have in the NNPP there, where the domineering factor there is Kwankwaso, and not allowing the governor to be able to appoint several commissioners or special advisors or other people the way he would want. And as a result of that, when push comes to shove, the governor wants to be his own man. And then because of the challenges that they have in NNPP there, the APC, got into that place, saw the loopholes, knowing that, because the governor is not so comfortable within the Kwankwasia movement and wasn't so assured that he would get his second term, ticket, they exploded. And there's no how you can blame President Tinubu. But the thing is that, yes, the APC has got, Governor Abba Yusuf, but have they got the chunk of the voting population? Because if you see the marches that have been going on in Kano, you will discover that Kwankwaso is still in control of the Talakawas and all of that. But Kwankwaso himself is also a problem because he lacks a political organization that will make him to be in the, within the confines of the Aminu Kano politics that he has always wanted to present himself to be. Because when Aminu Kano was playing his politics, he always gave, kudos to people who helped him to get to power, who helped him to form his movement. But that is the problem with the Kwankwasia movement, that everything centers around Kwankwaso. So other leaders or sub-leaders within the movement are not being given their sort of flowers, and it's a problem. Look at his former national chairman, Professor Alkali, Bem Angwe, former national legal advisor, and then, of course, a former Kaduna State governorship candidate. They've all come out to actually say that, look, this is the problem that made them to leave the APC in 2023 and join the NNPP in 2023 to join the APC because the stranglehold of Kwankwaso is just so much. And it's not really easy for people around him. And like I said, last week when I was here, people who are tied to him will actually get into troubles now. People like Emir Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, because I hear, for example, that his portraits are being removed from government institutions and all of that. And maybe there may be plans by the Governor Abba Yusuf government to actually go against it because the deputy governor that has disclosed that his loyalty still lies with, Kwankwaso is also set to be impeached now, because those are the moves that we're hearing, that just like it happened under Ganduje and his deputy then, when the deputy was asked to resign because of, the loyalty issues, the deputy to Governor Abba Yusuf, Gozo, is going to be asked to resign or he'll be impeached, because the governor right now, Governor Abba Yusuf, will be controlling about 35 members. That's when you add 13 to 22 members that, are both from the APC and then the NNPP. So these are very difficult times for the NNPP. And I can tell you that just like Festus Keyamo was saying, ahead of 2027, Kwankwaso will either have to align with ADC or he will have challenges with the APC, and then that may affect his fortunes way ahead of 2031. On that of the Hannatu Musawa, I don't think she would have slept fine after that statement, and we all know what has happened. If you look at the political trajectory of President Tinubu, while he was a governor, he changed his deputies. So what tells you that he cannot change Shetima? But President Tinubu should actually be very, very careful, because what he's trying to do is to continue to assert the hegemony of the Southwest and then the Northwest. If indeed he's going the way we are hearing, that is likely going to be a Northwest person that will become a vice presidential candidate of his that may likely be a minority Christian. Yeah, she got some of the postulations very, very right. But I think Tinubu is all setting his eyes on the ball, and of course he would want to calculate what he did in Lagos may not actually be applicable at the national level. But does President Tinubu like being told the truth? Well, it's left for those who are APC watchers to actually say that, because he likes himself as a master political strategist. And if he does make this mistake, I can tell you that the ADC will capitalize on it. But the same scenario is what he's facing, that he's facing now, is what MK Abiola faced in 1992, when then military head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida, told him to take Pascal Bafiao, a minority politician who's a Christian from Adamawa State, to be his vice presidential candidate, because he felt that the Muslim ticket won't work. Okay. Now, eventually, the governors and some other power players had to impress Baba Gana Kingibe on him. Okay. And of course, Baba Gana Kingibe, having been the national party chairman of the SDP, had his way, and somehow they were able to make something good out of it. So it could be a huge challenge for him if he tries to deviate from that.
With due respect, I just thought we're very unfair to Kwanga. So while you were making your analysis, you were touting as if Aminu Kano had it all in terms of organization. If you remember in '83, that was the same way that Rimi fought with Aminu Kano. And you remember the splits when Rimi had to leave PRP and go to another political party. So I think from our political history, it just shows that this godfather, godson thing does not work, except the godson will have to be a mumu. That's just it. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Sumner, for your time with us this morning. Hopefully, again, see you next week, Monday.